Welcome all you Plus 2 comedy modifiers to another episode of the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. I'm your host as always, TV's Noah Houlihan, and before we get to our fantastic episode with Ophidian the Cobra, I have to tell you about our upcoming show. We will be doing 2 shows at Wizard U, which is sold out. So if you have your tickets, come see us on February 3rd at Wizard U. If you don't have your tickets, I'm sorry for wasting your time with this announcement. But just like that, in just a week, it became sold out. So let this be a lesson to you. If you want to come see Plus 2 Comedy, when I announce it here on this podcast, you get tickets. You get tickets or it's going to be sold out. But if you go to Wizard U, it's a 21 plus Harry Potter convention. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Come see Plus 2 Comedy as we perform Muggle Studies and Defense Against the Dark Arts. There might even be a boggart, so be sure to come and check that one out. And now, without any further ado, take it away.
Is ready for a podcast. Our crowd was distracted by various things and we're not ready for a podcast. Come on, who's ready for a podcast? Yeah. Who's here to do other things currently being annoyed by a podcast? Our crowd waited for that part of the question to do that. This is the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast coming to you live from Gamers Vault. That's 175 Route 70 in Medford, New Jersey. I'm your host, as always, TV's Noah Houlihan, joined, as always, by the Isaac Yankum to my cane, Mr. Will Liam. How you doing, Will?
Who is the first name you said?
Isaac Yankum, the evil dentist.
Oh, I like that name.
Wait.
You have
Are
not
you
been
implying
introduced.
that? Are you okay? But so,
So these are all non-canon
barring
remarks.
the lack of my introduction, are you alluding that you are the same person?
No,
I remember all these facts
yes,
now.
yes.
Because I have so many questions.
I'm alluding that I'm the better version of Will.
What?
At
Well,
least
now I'm just blatantly saying.
at least in terms of longevity, I don't know what you're
yes,
saying.
indeed. Now, Ophidian, I know you're known for being quiet, but I'm going to need you to talk into the microphone for the duration of the podcast.
I suppose that would
There you go. It's acceptable because I haven't introduced you yet, so you weren't technically here. Our
great.
guest this week is the reigning Young Lions Cup champion and the reigning king of the high flyers for Chikara Pro Wrestling. Please give it up for Ophidian the Cobra.
Thank you so much. I like that you didn't want to spring for Rey de Voladores, just in case you messed it up. It was a smart choice.
I've been practicing saying it in my head over and over again, and then bam.
I often have to. I'm like, do a double take. Is this the one? Yes. Okay, great.
Yes. Chikara features lots of different languages in lots of different countries, so it's hard to keep straight. So, just because I don't want to have to speak other languages to our viewers, he's the king of the high flyers. And you won that at King of Trios this year.
Yes, sir.
Which was an 8-man tournament, or 8-person tournament, excuse me.
Yeah, so the Rey de Voladores, it's the opening rounds are 2 Fatal 4-way matches, and then the winners of those 2 matches meet at the finals in the next day, on day 3 of King of Trios.
Yes. King of Trios is, of course, Chikara's WrestleMania, which is so big it spawns 3 days. Spans. It gives birth to 3 days.
Add 3 days every year.
So, Ophidian, you've gone through some changes since the last time we've had you on the show.
Indeed, yes.
So, how long have you been wrestling? It's a difficult question, which is why I asked it.
It's so hard to say. Years.
Yes.
Years.
I was so sure you were going to be a jerk and be like, 2,000 years.
No, I've landed on my head a number of times. At this point, hard to keep track.
Yes, it is quite difficult to say. You were also the reigning Young Lions Cup champion.
Yes.
Which you won over Razorhawk using the most illegal move in wrestling, hypnosis.
The most illegal move, indeed.
Yes.
Wait, so he may not be a robot if he was hypnotized.
This is This is good evidence. We've have a case open on whether or not Razorhawk is or not a robot.
When
The
you were
Plus
trying
Two
to remember
Comedy
that
Files.
bit, I was worried that you hadn't said Razorhawk, and I just added that myself.
Oh, Who said Razorhawk? Who said?
I forgot the canon of our own
Were
show
you
for a moment.
Yeah, because I think he might be a robot, and
see.
he won't answer me at all, straight or at all.
Yes, it's classified information. Ophidian, you've been in the ring with him. What are your thoughts? Robot?
I don't know that he's a robot. He is certainly very weird. He's a strange little bird, that one.
Understandable. Now, you are the current Young Lions Cup holder, but eventually that title will expire, I'm guessing, because a new one will be crowned at Pro Wrestling Day, correct?
Yes. Well, no.
Do you
So
not know
this
how
year,
championships work?
for season 19, National Pro Wrestling Day will not hold the Young Lions Cup tournament. Young Lions Cup is actually going to take place the next month across 2 nights,
Ooh.
March 17th and March 31st.
Oh, all right. We're dropping some bombshells here on
There
the
we
show.
go. Season 19 at the Wrestle Factory. Yes.
Yes.
So what that means is I still hold the Young Lions Cup until the passing in the night of the next Young Lions Cup tournament. So, unless anyone beats me for it, which they won't,
Unlikely.
obviously, they won't, I will be the longest reigning Young Lions Cup 13 champion.
due to a scheduling error.
Well, the cup did bounce around quite a bit in terms of who was holding it. Space Monkey had his time. Wani had some time. Silverhawk, Hermit Crab, bounced all over the place. But it found a home now with Ophidian the Cobra.
And really, I like the full circle that it traveled. If you look at the finals of the Young Lions Cup at the beginning of the year, Pro Wrestling Day last year,
Mhm.
The Whisper and Space Monkey.
Yes.
What an interesting turn of events.
Yes, it slipped through the fingers of the Whisper, and now Ophidian holds it.
Too careless.
I would watch what you were
apologize for
saying,
that,
sir.
yeah.
You think you're funny?
No, I don't.
You should be very careful at this moment with your words. I'm
I
just
chuckled.
saying.
Honestly, I did.
Because we got to talk about season 19. Beware the Snowman is the season premiere, which is coming up on January 28th, and you'll be facing 17.
Yes.
Is that a name or an amount of people?
No, it is a person.
It is a man.
It is a man who knows the 17 forgotten moves of pro wrestling.
Yes. The 17 illegal holds, technically, I suppose. Forgotten, illegal, banned. You're not supposed to do them because they hurt people. My arm was in a
Chikara's
sling a month ago.
banned moves seem very unenforced.
I mean, he did use hypnosis to
Yeah.
win the Young Lions Cup in front of the referee, I will say.
Right, but we have standards.
So, Ophidian, this is a road I was afraid to walk down with you, but I think for the sake of this show, we need to talk about it.
Absolutely, I can't wait.
And that's the event that happened after a sarcophagus match.
Yes. Well, as you remember, it was said before the match, what goes in the sarcophagus never comes out the same. And I think that proved to be true, didn't it?
It
Someone
did indeed.
elaborate? I don't know what's happening.
There was a match between Ophidian the Cobra and Hollow Wicket in a sarcophagus match, in which point Ophidian lost the match, was sealed in a sarcophagus, which was then stolen by the Whisper.
Okay.
The Whisper then took the sarcophagus, buried Ophidian alive, and what happened next is hard for me to explain. what the process of what happened next was? Can you shed some light on this?
Before I forget your background. Are you a mundane cobra or some sort of snake god?
Well, so I was brought to this plane through the Assyrian portal.
Okay.
Like, I was my original creation was to be the protector of Amasis, the pharaoh.
Yes.
Yes.
I remember him. All right.
That didn't go so well. But that wasn't my fault. That was the other guy's fault.
The other guy's fault?
The other guy.
Is that what we're referring to him as?
I mean, he is.
Okay, so during this burial,
Yeah. I wanted to know what the stakes were for being buried alive.
well, Ophidian...
Literally what it sounds like.
Yes.
You're right. No,
dirt is
it's
put
my
on...
fault for not understanding what happens when
You have a shovel.
otherworldly
you dig a
being
hole, and then you
through the
put
portal of Osiris gets buried. I should know.
Osirian.
Exactly.
It's the Osirian
I don't
portal.
care what you said.
But through this...
I was gonna say ISIS first, so you know.
Through this process, the Whisper kind of became one with Ophidian, absorbed Ophidian, and
Again, it's my fault for not knowing
is
this happened.
is now the man sitting next to you. So it's a weird sort of metamorphosis that the Whisper has gone through, or consumption, I'm guessing.
Funny how things work out.
So what is the Whisper? Or was the Whisper? I don't know who these people are, Noah.
Well, the Whisper technically is the man sitting next to you.
No, I get that, but what's his deal?
So the idea here is that the old Ophidian didn't know the extent of his powers, or maybe he did, but he didn't use them in a way that I saw fit. And I decided to do something about that. Because hypnosis, the control of others, it's so great and vast, and he only ever made people dance.
This is true.
And that seemed like a waste. So I took everything. I took his mask. I took his powers.
Took his face.
Well,
Off.
Kind of. In a way.
Yeah, I mean, if in layman's terms, yes.
I did not
There was a
take his
lot
face.
more that went down, but so I must ask, why Ophidian? Was it just an opportunistic thing, or is there a reason that you targeted him?
Well, I feel like
I've
the
gone deep.
sarcophagus was an important part of this. You don't find a lot of guys trapped in them.
That is true.
Unless you're
Look-
Laurel and Hardy. Is that who found mummies all the time?
I think you're thinking of Abbott and Costello.
What did Laurel and Hardy find? Werewolves?
Comedy? I think they moved pianos a lot.
Okay.
You were burying the lead here.
It was dead air, no?
like
That is fair.
had some different events happened, would I be sitting next to Hollow Wicked right now?
There you go.
So, I think Hallowicked's standpoint has never really changed. You see, Ophidian tried to be something he wasn't.
Okay.
Ophidian tried to project himself as the man that was going to save Chikara. But in his heart, he knew that he wasn't that man. He was 17, the man who destroyed so many people. And also ended up in the eventual destruction of his own partner. Because 17, it was him that saved Frightmare from Deucalion. all those
You're
years
just making things up
There
right
are people who care. This is true. I'm with you. I'm getting what you're saying. You can kill my co-host if you need me. You can bury him alive.
You will get nothing from absorbing me. Oh, you'll learn so much Star Wars trivia. I take that back.
You are on a road
Do
to
you
get
know why
buried
Ahsoka
alive.
Tano got a second lightsaber in the second season of Clone Wars? Because I
All
have no
right.
idea.
Let me go back to the first trilogy Star Wars trivia.
That's
Wow.
really fun.
You
need
are
extended universe knowledge.
Oh, it's not canon anymore.
It
I
doesn't
wiped
matter.
it from my brain.
It doesn't matter.
he is currently
Not-
proving himself to be the superior Ophidian and the superior Will Liam
Non-canonical.
right
He's
now.
already started to suck it out of my head.
he's taking it from you. You're just going to be a husk.
There's still relevance to non-canonical information.
No, you're right. It's fine. I ignore most of the extended universe anyway, so it didn't change anything
You
for me.
ignore or just choose not to learn. See, these are excuses for not knowing trivia that I'm hearing.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
You're trying to be something that you're not, which is a Star Wars expert.
I know all
Once-
these things. I mean, I know
Once
some
Ophidian
things.
buries you alive and takes this from you, he will use this power for the way it's meant to be
I'll
done.
I'll end up gaining all the knowledge. Like, I knew half of this. What's the deal?
Yeah.
Once he wins his next title by baffling someone with Star Wars trivia, it's going to be all downhill. So I'm glad I put you in between us here as kind of a barrier. But now, upon the return of 17, and you were facing him one-on-one, like your thoughts going into this match with a dangerous man that you helped recreate in a way.
It's been a long time coming, I suppose. I knew eventually that this day would come, and it's almost exciting, really, to know that I'm so close to finally proving that I am the master of snake style. I am the best Ophidian.
Right.
Soon, 11 days away.
So you have the Young Lions Cup. You're the king of the high flyers. I'm not going to try to say it again. Still, what's next on the horizon for Ophidian?
Well, I can only reincarnate so many Amasases.
Yes, this is true. Amasa, you did have 3 points
So-
for contentions for the.
With that being said,
Oh, okay,
with that being said,
I think 13 is the limit on
on Amasa.
regenerations of
Yes.
a Maasai.
if that were the case, I would have another. I would have a militia of Amasai. Is that what you just said?
Amasa malicious.
Amasis.
Armada?
A pharaoh militia. What did they call the army? Never mind.
The army's called the army.
No, not. Never.
Suck it out of him.
No,
Anyway.
my condescending sarcasm.
But
Oh dear.
But is the grand championship on the horizon for you, or
Hopefully. However, I have assisted Mr. Coronado in the past. He doesn't, however, strike me as a man to reciprocate favors.
I would agree with you on that one.
He seems to only take.
Yes,
for
yes, indeed. Takes from people, takes his time getting to the ring. Very, very accurate.
Oh, right, that entrance.
No, it's the worst.
Ugh. Great nap time. Though.
exactly. It gets nice and quiet. It's pretty good.
And the
So
bell ring, oh.
so we also like to geek out on this show, and we do it with a segment called "What You Watching, What You Reading, What You Playing." It's where we talk about what we're watching, what we're reading, what we're playing. Ophidian, you're new to the group. I don't know how much time you have to enjoy media, but have you been watching anything?
I mean, I tend to watch Archer endlessly.
Okay, all right. Understandable. Lots of Archer.
Beyond that, in there, I rewatched The Shining last night.
With the There's two of those, right?
Yeah, there's the Jack Nicholson one, and there's the
Yes.
one with the guy from Wings.
Shining.
Okay, there you go.
the good one.
That one.
Have you ever seen the documentary about it?
No, I haven't. Actually.
Oh, there's a fantastic documentary
That's
about The
awesome.
Shining called Room. What's the room from The Shining?
237.
Yeah, Room 237, and
Sure.
it's basically trying to discover the meaning behind The Shining.
Did you see the like the 2 scale model that like Adam Savage from the MythBusters he made like of the maze from like he made,
The actual labyrinth.
he made like a 2 scale model of like it was
Interesting.
it was like a
Like a
year-long project.
2 scale. You mean like life size?
No, like
Like scale down. Okay.
Yeah.
I was kidding. You're
by
like 2
scale.
scale, and then
No,
you were
no,
doing
no,
this.
no,
It's like
he didn't like grow hedges.
Okay. Yeah. That would take some time. That would
I
take
would
some
believe
time.
that Adam Savage
Although,
could do that.
To be fair, yes. But no, he made like a small, like the table size version.
Yeah, I got you.
That he,
Alright.
like that one, like the one that he looks over. In the
Yeah,
movie,
yeah, yeah.
He made like that.
Oh, okay.
He made like
Okay.
that.
Okay, gotcha.
Incredible.
Because I thought you're saying the hotel. Because one of the things they talk about in the documentary is when he's on the tricycle and he's going around, the path he takes is impossible. Like someone mapped it out and is like, according to like the layout of the hotel, he went through a wall here, and like this is not where he should have ended up, and like stuff like that's done on purpose a lot. Like there's rooms that are like that have
there's
windows
interesting
that shouldn't.
scenes in the movie though, like when he is riding it's like there'll be points where like he goes off and like it just instead of him like turning off one way, it's just a cut scene, which is sort of speaks to that it like the
Right.
mapping doesn't necessarily
Well, I mean,
make sense.
I think it's all done on purpose because
Right.
just Kubrick is
Of course.
a madman. There's also a whole part of the movie that you're supposed to actually be watching The Shining backwards, and they have like a viewing party where they watch it backwards because so much of The Shining is people backing up, so it looks like they're walking forward if you watch it backward. It's insanity, but it's
it says murder backwards.
Indeed. To be fair, watching it again, I had that same realization when it got to the mirror and it's like murder. You what?
it's not just red rum.
Right, the kid's red rum.
But if
and
you
like, and you're like, what is going on with this kid? And you see the mirror and you're like, oh my god.
But if you watch it backwards, she's like, "Oh my god, he's saying murder." Oh, it's just red rum.
It's just red rum.
I don't know why he's drinking. He's too young.
I
Also,
can't.
rum's not red.
Now, yeah, he's made a new drink.
I can't wait for you to get buried alive.
He's on my side.
This is not the way this should have gone. So
Plot twist.
listen to this podcast backwards. It's better. Will, have you been watching anything good?
Oh man, I had a movie that I wanted to tell you about. Now I forget the name.
That's
Oh,
an
man.
important part of the discussion.
But now it's all I can think about. It's on HBO. It's a horror movie. It's called like Right Outside the Door or something. No, it's not Let the Right One In. It's like a indie film. But there's basically a chemical biobomb attack in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah, and this dude.
It comes at night?
No, it's not that. It's
Okay.
not post-apocalyptic. It's just kind of like during the crisis.
All right.
And all the
It's
exposition.
apocalyptic, not
Yeah,
post-apocalyptic.
it's during the apocalypse. And all the exposition is like news stories the main character hears on the radio, which is done in a cool way. Right at your door.
Right at
Thank
your
you.
door. Okay.
Oh man, the whole movie's not terribly interesting until the end, but the twist is so good I was like, I'm glad I got there. But I don't want to say because that'll ruin it.
Okay. All right.
Fair enough.
But it
Right
has
at your door. All right.
It has a cool twist ending.
I've been on a bit of a horror movie kick, so
But it's his wife is outside during the attack. She comes back and might be infected. They don't know with this chemical attack.
Oh.
Yeah, but he's nailed the house up and he won't let her in, and she has to deal with that. And then there's a thing at the end, and it's very cool.
All right. I'll check that one out because I just watched Oculus.
Oh,
Yes.
The mirror.
Yes.
horror movie.
Are you familiar with this one, Ophidian?
I think I've heard of it. I haven't
that a
actually seen it though.
WWE?
It was a WWE movie. It features no WWE wrestlers.
Just
It's probably for the best.
Yeah, it's
Karen,
definitely.
Karen Gillian. What is Nebula's real name? She's not in the WWE.
No, she's yet to debut. But it's fantastic. Like
Really?
it's a really good film. It's. I think it would be better if you went in completely blind, because everyone saw the trailer with the apple and the light bulb and was like, eh.
Oh.
But basically, it does a really good job of creating doubt throughout the film, because they're like, this mirror is evil. It makes you do like evil things. And there's enough evidence to be like, no, it doesn't. You're just crazy.
I like that.
And there's enough stuff like, oh, this crazy thing happens. Like, nope, you're just remembering it wrong. It happened like this. And there's enough that throughout the film you're like, none of this might be happening. So that's really good. And it's basically it's the story of this brother and sister team whose parents die as a result of the mirror 11 years ago. And you see the story of them doing this like investigation to the mirror and what happened 11 years ago, like kind of side by
I
side,
like that too.
which is really well done. Like, for a movie that is telling two stories simultaneously, and the story involves seeing things that you're not sure you're actually seeing, it does a fantastic job. Like, there was times where I was confused, but always on purpose. It was never like, what the hell's happening? It was always like, trying to figure it out. And, like, it's a really good horror movie. And the dude from The Office, or Office Space is in it, Ron Livingston.
Oh, I like that guy.
Yeah. So I highly recommend it. And it created Sasha Banks, which is, a good thing.
How did it?
There's if you go back into NXT,
Okay.
there was a weird Oculus tie-in. Actually, so the wrestler that's in the movie is the Mirror. Because there's this time where they're like, Sasha, you need to look at this mirror. Like, look at it. And she looks at the mirror and she sees the boss for the first time. So the mirror turned her into the boss. Yeah, that's canon. That's canon WWE right there.
That's incredible.
Yeah. You should probably get this mirror.
How about
You probably wouldn't have to bury as many people
Right, yeah.
alive.
Incredible.
It's a loophole.
If only I had known.
Yeah. It's a lot less shovel work.
Oh man.
I want to throw it back over to you and ask you what you're reading. You reading anything good?
I recently acquired a stack of the Wrestling Observer from 2002.
Okay.
So there's a lot. The first two I picked up. The first one, it was one person had just died, and the next one I'd picked up, Davey Boy Smith had just died, and I was like, I'm on a roll.
Yeah.
This is great.
It's a magazine / obits.
I'm also trying. I've been reading through Ready Player One.
Oh, fantastic.
That deal. Yeah, I haven't finished it yet because I'm just bad at commitment to reading
That's
books.
fine. That's fine.
But I have been reading through it, and it has been very
I've-
interesting for sure.
I've been in quite a few heated arguments about this book as
About
of
Ready
late.
Player One, yeah.
Yes, because the movie's coming out, and the movie
Right,
looks
yeah,
a lot of fun.
That's this year now, right?
Yeah,
Great.
It's surprisingly coming out rather soon. And the argument I keep hearing is this isn't a book, this is just a bunch of fan service. At which I reply, yeah, I am the fan. Service me. Service me. I enjoy that. I mean, like, it's not the greatest novel ever made, but, like, it hits all the things I'm, like, I enjoy. It's very enjoyable. Like,
It has a lot of moments where you're like, you can just go, cool.
Yeah. Like,
You know what? I'm really against that dig at a thing now. Just like, this is just fan service. Yeah, this media is terrible because all it's doing is trying to make the people that like it happy.
yeah, how dare they? Exactly. Because, like, I think people have a a relationship with movies where they can watch a junk food movie where it's just like, this isn't going to be good, but I'm going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just going to be explosions or it's going to be a bunch of, poop jokes or whatever.
For me, that's Hudson Hawk. I love that movie.
I don't know Hudson Hawk.
Oh, you should check it out.
Other than you telling me how great it is.
It is oh boy.
Yeah.
It's a Bruce Willis movie
Oh,
that it's
sign me
It's
up.
basically
I am
a
in.
cartoon if it was live action. Like there's no CGI or cartoons in it, but the plot is preposterous and the things that happen are maddening.
He kills the villain by dropping a 16-ton weight on him.
Essentially, yeah. There's
exciting.
things
Spoilers,
similar-
apparently.
Basically, that happens.
Yeah, but so
I
yeah,
can't wait.
we can watch a movie and be like, this isn't going to be amazing, but we'll enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
With a book, I think people are like, I'm reading.
Yeah.
I deserve more because I spent the time to read.
That's fair.
So that's my theory on why people are upset about Ready Player One. They'll all love the movie because it'll be a popcorn movie. William, sorry, I went on a rant. Have you read anything good, or do you want to talk more about Hudson Hawk?
We talk about Hudson.
We can talk about that. Whatever you guys want.
I don't. But there's nothing to say because you haven't seen it,
That's true.
and you won't believe me.
You're right. I won't.
If I described you the things that happen in this movie.
Well, I mean, you know that I've made the New Year's resolution to watch more movies,
I
so
don't-
I will add that to the list.
all right. Yeah, you know
I'm
what?
actually
Watch
gonna
it.
do it right
Okay.
now because if I don't,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
absolutely forget.
You guys
Yes.
are gonna be really mad at me.
We're gonna come out real mad.
What was that?
I might actually bury you alive.
What happened?
Yeah, if it's not good, you will end up buried
I
alive.
didn't say it was good. I said I really like it.
You've hyped it up quite a bit.
Yes, I think you said it was the greatest film ever made.
Well,
The amount of hype relative
Yeah.
to the amount of goodness
Yeah.
this movie possesses.
I just watched The Godfather and then The Dark Knight, and now I'm going to watch Hudson Hawk and compare them against those
yeah,
films.
that's fine.
And if they're bad,
Hudson Hawk's got
Ophidian
a
will
much
bury
shorter
you
running
alive.
time than The Godfather. So
the Nolan verse Dark Knight, right? That guy.
oh yes,
Okay,
yes,
great.
yes.
Yeah.
Is there another Dark Knight?
Probably not. I was
Okay.
just clarifying. Or I was mainly clarifying that it was the Heath Ledger one and not
Yes.
the Tom Hardy one.
Not The Dark Knight
Right,
Rises.
Because I don't like that one.
I agree.
I don't
Yeah.
like that one.
I don't like it.
I think it gets a bad rep because it came after one of the greatest comic book movies ever
Mhm.
made.
But even it's half a good movie. Like up until
I just can't get I love Batman and I most of the time will defend him, but I can't get behind the he did this because he's Batman. Like I need more of an explanation.
Yeah,
Just a little, even a little bit. Just a little.
I can get over that for the most part. When he makes the fire on the bridge, like I was like, I think that meant he spent time making that while people were drowning.
yeah, he was watching them.
Like that's a bit upsetting.
Oh come on, the guy just fell right through. I was almost finished.
He's not going to see it. He would have loved it.
It would have filled him with hope.
But not even the fire on the fire on the bridge, and then the just the escape from the prison. Like you see him he makes the leap, and then
Yeah.
the scene cuts, and then you're in Gotham, and you're like, what do you mean?
I think that
Something had to have happened
hole
between
in the
this thing and
ground
this thing.
Was in Jersey.
was in Jersey. Yeah, it was not. We were all racist for assuming that was a foreign country.
It's
that's-
actually
That's in the Pine
That
Barrens.
was
it's actually somewhere in Tom's River.
DC Trump's immigration plan is what that was. It's just a hole.
So we're tight on time. Are you reading anything good that you wanted to share?
No, I wasted mine on Hudson Hawk.
All right.
Oh, I wonder if there's a novelization of Hudson Hawk. Oh boy.
All right. We'll add it to your Christmas list. All right. He's busy Googling.
Maybe
so
a script. What are you reading? No.
did I talk about no one can know about this yet?
I don't think so.
Uh,
Not if we can't know about it.
yeah. Well, We include podcasts and pretend they're audiobooks for this section of the show. And I've been listening to a great one called No One Can Know About This. And it is two guys who have decided to play all the Final Fantasy games in a row.
Totally have not talked about this.
All right, good, because no one should know about it. But it's great because, like, they didn't know what they were getting into from the beginning because they're starting with the first Final Fantasy game, which is abysmal. It is. Do you love that game? Well, then you need. All right, people are getting upset with me. You need a walkthrough for that because, but it just doesn't work sometimes. Like there's a spell that's coded to miss 100% of the time.
That's
like Cure 2 and Cure 3 are technically the same thing, and it doesn't tell you that. If you pick a black belt, you're not supposed to give them weapons, and like no one tells you these things. So it's a very difficult game, and if you grew up having the only one you've played been 7, 8, and 9, and then you're like, hey, let's play all of them, and then you try to play the first one, these guys are having a horrible time. And it's not a Let's Play, so you don't get to see them playing, but it's filmed kind of like, or recorded kind of like The Office, where you hear the audio of them playing, and then there's a cutaway to them in the future, like, so here's the mistakes we've made, and we haven't realized it yet. And like you hear them get frustrated, and then you hear the moment where they've realized it. And they do a great job of just editing it and figuring it all out. And they record everything. Like the episode 1 starts with them in the car driving to the store to buy it. And like you get them like, or let's take a break and eat some lunch. And then you get them eating lunch like, we don't need to do this podcast. Like, we haven't told anybody that we're doing this podcast. We could stop right now and, just live our lives and not sit in the basement for hours playing a game we don't like.
But where's the fun in that?
But we've committed to it. And there was a really great moment where I was listening to it and they said, could you imagine if someone is playing Final Fantasy 1 right now listening to us? And while that was happening, I was playing A Link to the Past. And I was like, no, I'm playing a good game. I highly recommend it. When you're done with this show, check out No One Can Know About This. I've also been telling as many people as possible about this show because of the name of their show. Oh, we got a Chikara fan. Hey, what's up? And I'm going to throw it back to Ophidian and ask you what you playing. Have you had time to play anything?
Yeah, I was really big into the new Assassin's Creed Origins.
Okay, all
How
right.
is that?
Really, overall, I really like it. However, if you've played Assassin's Creed before, they totally redid the fighting system. They completely redid it, so
Okay.
it's not the same. How I get in previous
The parry
games.
system or whatever?
Yeah, in previous, like I describe it as like the Arkham system, where it's like triangle is like your block that supersedes everything else, kind of deal. So like there's a lot more like effort you have to put into like actually fighting people because it's not like just mindless.
Gotcha, that's cool.
So
that's
there's
cool.
something
I'm
to
bad at stealth, so I will never
It's
play
an
this game.
adjustment to be made, but other than that, like the game is really solid, and like the renderings of Egypt are really, really beautiful.
That's right, it's in Egypt, so there's not a lot of like places.
Building.
I will say
Just
also
keep
it is
jumping
by
off that
far-
one triangle-shaped one.
I will say by far it is the most visually gory Assassin's Creed
really?
game to date. Like it's like Tarantino levels of just like
Right up your alley,
Right,
I'm
yeah.
guessing.
just blood splatter everywhere, and you're like, oh wow, how about that?
How about all that happening?
I don't know that I was expecting that much blood to come out of that
Yeah,
man.
a lot of feet in this game.
What is that about? A lot of sandy feet. Will you playing anything good?
I fell back into the World of Tanks hole.
Oh, why?
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, like, I would like to bring up the fact that we
No, you
talked
sound
about.
so disappointed.
We talked about World of Tanks on this show in episode number 3.
Yep.
This is episode 207 of this
I
show.
think this is the 4th time. It's been a revisiting because I went back to Skyrim too, and like I don't like Skyrim. I don't like that it portrays itself like a I mean, I guess it's still technically an RPG, but like your choices don't matter. It's basically the same thing that BioShock Infinite did, but not on purpose.
Okay.
You know how you play BioShock and there's like choices and they're like none of this matters because it's a video game and choices don't matter.
Right.
But Skyrim isn't being like a clever.
Is it anyway?
Yeah, Skyrim wasn't being
yes.
like a clever parody of a video game. It just made a poorly done RPG.
Just did it poorly.
But it's so pretty. I'm like, yeah, I really like looking at everything. So it's still fun.
I had a whole bit about that.
That it's pretty.
That is very pretty. I could live here.
No. It's just been a revisiting week for me.
Gotcha. I mean, I've been playing Link to the Past on the the SNES Classic, and it's fun. Like I've never been a big Zelda guy, and I just finished Super Metroid, and Super Metroid was like one of the greatest gaming experiences ever. So I was told Link to the Past is also up there, and I'm not quite as big on it. I'm not too far into it.
Do you know the ending?
I don't know the ending.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm going in unspoiled.
Oh wow.
So I have 2 pendants. Yeah, I got the one in the desert temple, so I'm trying to get up the mountain. And I'm going no guide, so I'm just giving money to fortune tellers like, please. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do.
I would love for one of you to tell me which way to go.
Yeah, just something. It's like, you will find the 3rd pendant. I was like, okay, can you point me in a direction? Please.
Is that what they all said? They all just keep saying,
it's a lot of stuff.
You're going to do it.
Like with the desert thing, like I had to read a book, and I knew where the book was to get up into the temple. Knew where the book was, and they just told me I needed it. Didn't know how to get it. This was like hours of my life. Eventually, I got it by accident. But it's a great game. I'm enjoying it. I've never been a big high fantasy guy. I've always been more of a sci-fi guy, so that's why I think I skew more towards Metroid than...
pretend that sword's shooting laser beams.
It doesn't shoot laser beams.
That's a ripoff.
Yeah, I don't have the Master Sword yet.
Spoilers, Jesse.
Spoilies! I don't know. I haven't played it. So that's what I've been doing. So that's been what you watching, what you reading, what you're playing. We end all of our podcasts with a game. It's time for host versus guest versus audience. This week I have brought Super Friends on DVD.
Yay!
Eventually we'll get rid of this one. It's a good one though. It's the Super Friend
People
cartoon.
have won this more than once from us.
That is not true.
Are you sure?
I am 100% positive. So this is what we are giving away. Ophidian, what did you bring?
I have a bag full of shirts of various sizes.
Oh, yeah.
They're over here.
Yeah.
Surprise,
Powers.
I have shirts.
All right, so you have...
Do I place them on the table?
Yeah, pull them out.
I mean, we have cameras if you want to like show them off as how awesome your shirts are.
That's true. I got the
You should show the
original ones.
Yeah. The Whisper shirt.
Oh, okay. I was confused. I thought your catchphrase was
Everything makes sense.
not shh.
Yeah. He's grown and has
Yeah, you've
he's
added
grown
a
an
second
H.
letter.
Yeah.
4 S's, 3 H's. And then the Ophidian overlay.
Oh,
Yes.
I like that.
Camera's that way, not above us. Just so you know, if you want to show them off.
I'm like, make sure everyone can see them.
Way cool. So to play host versus guest versus audience, we need an audience member, but they need to bring a prize for us to win. Since we've put up these amazing prizes, what did you guys bring this week? That's a tiny snow job. We have a snow job. It's an inaction figure, I believe. Oh, his arms move, so he is technically an action figure. We have a KK Slider amiibo card that was way cooler than. You're not knitting us the prize? No, not knitting us the prize. And it appears that is it. Ophidian, the choice is yours. Would you like to play for the tiny snow job, or would you like to play for the KK Slider amiibo card?
The first guy.
The tiny snow job? All right, come on up here.
I was so convinced that's not his name.
No, it is. I know.
No, I believe you.
Real weird. It's like.
Yeah, it's real uncomfortable.
Is this on?
No,
You got to turn it on.
Nope.
No, towards you.
Yeah,
there
we
you go.
lied to you.
All right.
It actually was on.
All right. So I was thinking about this. It's actually his name, and I can literally not figure out why they named it, if not for the obvious reason.
Yeah.
There's no other it's not like it's no job, because that's not a thing people say.
Yeah, neither
People
is
say
like
the
this
thing
is a
that
real
sounds-
snow job. Like it's
Yeah,
not a
no one has ever
phrase.
said that. People say the thing that rhymes with snow job.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
All right.
On that note.
Yes. We are going to play a game
Oh yeah.
called Landmine. I will present you with a question that has three. Whoa!
Oh God.
It shook.
Whoa! We experienced an earthquake.
Sorpresa.
The satellite we film in.
So we have. I'll ask you a question with 4 choices. 3 of them are correct answers. All you have to do is not pick the landmine, which is the wrong answer. I also tried as hard as I could to skew this for Ophidian, so we'll see how this goes.
Great.
Excellent.
Yes.
Based on my gaming experience earlier, I'm sure it'll go swimmingly.
Yes. So, currently, Ophidian is the king of the high flyers. 3 of the following 4 Pokemon can learn fly in Gen 1.
Ooh.
Charizard, Aerodactyl, Scyther, and Mew. Will, we'll start with you for the first question. Give me one of those that can learn fly.
Charizard.
Charizard. Ophidian?
Could you repeat the answer?
What's left are Aerodactyl, Scyther, and Mew.
Oh.
I'll go with Aerodactyl.
Aerodactyl.
And I also have a question after this question.
Okay, good. Mr. Jeff Stormer, who I don't think I ever introduced.
You sure,
We
you
went
sure
right
did.
into
You
it.
jumped
Sure
right
did.
into Snow Job.
I had a lot of things to say about snow job.
You didn't. Just the one.
Yeah, just the one. Hold on.
Easy.
Got to put him in front of the mic. I need my son to see the microphone. People need to see my son.
You put your son up as a prize?
Yes.
Oh,
I love
Ophidian's
all of my sons.
Ophidian's
What
going to bury him
confidence.
alive and steal his powers.
I am gonna go with Mew. Seems obvious, so I'm gonna go Scyther.
All right. Charizard, in fact, can learn fly,
Yeah, I wasted that.
as can
slot.
Aerodactyl. And Mew can learn all
Yeah,
moves.
everything.
Oh, yeah.
So
All right.
Scyther is the landmine. So that's 1 landmine for Jeff.
All right.
So here's my question.
Question. It's,
No, that was a
my
cough.
God.
You're right. My question, though. Technically speaking, in Gen 1, Charizard could not learn fly. In Red and Blue, in the games
sorry?
in the Red and Blue games, Charizard could not learn fly. It was added in Pokemon Yellow.
Oh.
Charizard could learn fly.
So I think this question has been nullified.
Yeah, I actually think
So-
I.
In Gen 1, for the first half of Gen 1's existence for Pokemon Red and Blue, Charizard, for some reason, could not learn fly. For the
Yes.
same reason Golbat had that weird tongue.
Oh.
Similar situations.
He's
I would
He's
like this-
100%
I would like this-
correct,
I would
and
like
I
this
knew it.
landmine taken away.
So,
I believe.
I just want to say that.
Yeah, Yellow's a Gen 1 game.
I don't believe it is.
Right, I'm not saying that it's not. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, for the first half of Gen 1, Charizard could not learn fly. Therefore, your question was tricky.
Yes, it was tricky. And I knew that. And you stole all my thunder because I was going to explain that. But Ophidian knows things. He's been alive for centuries. He's a very smart.
Well,
man.
he also buried one of the Pokemon players outside the store.
So you won the Young Lions Cup, Ophidian, using hypnosis. 3 of the following 4 comic book characters
Say Pokemon.
have the ability of hypnosis. John Constantine, Hugo Strange, Middlex Pitalik, and Barbara Gordon. Give me one that can use hypnosis. Starting with you, Ophidian.
Hugo Strange.
Hugo Strange. Jeff Stormer.
I am gonna go with Mixie's Pitlick.
Middlex Pitalik.
He can do anything.
He's hard to.
He's
It's
got
hard
fourth
to say.
dimensional magic.
Exactly.
Oh man,
Fair
who's left?
You got John Constantine and Barbara Gordon.
I'm gonna go with Barbara Gordon.
Barbara Gordon.
Feels like
A weird thing for me to include, right?
yeah, like on purpose.
That's because she can actually use hypnosis.
Yes.
I thought that was very strange. Hugo Strange, also another one that can use hypnosis.
I mean, he does.
And Middlex Piddalik has a lot of powers. Hypnosis not among them.
I feel like I've seen him hypnotize people.
Not according to the source I
Yeah,
used.
I also feel like he's giving
'cause he
people the
likes
big
people-
like.
Well, and he makes people dance like puppets. He recreates reality so that you act a certain way.
He recreates
rewrites your
realities, you
mind.
say?
He rewrites
That
your
doesn't
mind.
sound like hypnosis.
All right.
So that's 2 landmines for Jeff Stormer. Jeff, we're going to start with you on
Okay.
this one. So Ophidian was formerly known as the Whisper.
Right.
3 of the following things I am about to describe are also called Whisper.
Okay.
A song by the Yin Yang Twins, a South Korean television show, a character in the game Fable, and an anonymous social media platform.
I'm gonna go with the anonymous social media platform.
All right. Anonymous social media. Will?
Uh,
Which one of those is called Whisper?
Fable character?
Fable character. Ophidian.
What am I?
You have a song by the Yin Yang Twins or a South Korean television show.
I'm gonna go with a South Korean television
A
show.
South Korean television show. Your first friend in the game Fable is Whisper.
Yes.
There is actually an anonymous social media platform that you can go to called whisper.shh.
That's
I believe we have talked about this.
Have we?
I believe.
I don't remember.
I believe you tried to use it at my apartment to show me that it exists, and we were too close to a school.
Oh,
under
no,
our
that was
guidance.
Yik Yak.
Oh, that Yik Yak.
That was
Okay.
Yik Yak I was trying to use.
Why were you that close to us? Never mind.
I live.
No, the
close
real
to- I
question
live
is
close
why
to a
is
school.
why
I
is
don't-
being
there's
that
nothing
close
weird
to a
about
school
that.
an issue for you?
I don't know. It was an issue with the app.
Excuses.
And it is also a South Korean television show. There is a song by the Yin Yang Twins called Wait that is also like subtitled the Whisper song, but it's not called Whisper. So no landmines on that one.
Yeah.
We will start with Will on this one. We're heading into season 19 of Chikara, and all the events are
These
named.
all have to do with Ophidian.
Yeah,
I don't get one landmine card.
you have no landmines. You should be very happy. You're playing a very well game. Season 19 of Chikara starts on the 29th or 28th at the Wrestle Factory, and all of the events this season are named after Goosebumps books. 3 of these are real Goosebumps books. There's Don't Go to the Mall, Help, We Have Strange Powers, A Shocker on Shock Street, or The Horror at Camp Jelly Jam. Which one of those is a real Goosebumps book? William.
Is it me?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Jelly Jam was a book.
You're going to go with Jelly
The
Jam?
horror Jelly Jam.
The horror at Camp Jelly Jam. Ophidian?
Could I get them one more time?
Yes, there's Don't Go to the Mall, Help, We Have Strange Powers, and A Shocker on Shock Street.
I'm gonna go with Don't Go to the Mall.
Don't Go to the Mall.
I'm gonna go with the Shocker on Shock
Yeah, I
Street.
A
think
Shocker
that's
on
one,
Shock
too.
Street.
Or Shocker's autobiography.
Could also be Shocker's
It's
autobiography.
I
autobiography.
think that might have been the safer bet.
There is actually the horror at Camp Jelly Jam is real, as is A Shocker on Shock Street. Don't Go to the Mall is what another Canadian pop idol wrote for Robin Sparkles, but it is not a Goosebump book. Help, We Have Powers is part of the Horrorland series of Goosebumps. Help, We Have Powers. That's the name of the book. So that is a landmine for Ophidian. And Ophidian, we're going to start with you in this one. Ophidian, you tend to use a yo-yo a lot in your matches. 3 of these are types of Duncan yo-yos. There's the Barracuda, the Pulse, the Stinger, and the Windrunner. Give me one of those that's a real yo-yo.
You said Barracuda, Pulse, what was the
Stinger and Windrunner.
thing? Windrunner,
Yes.
Barracuda.
Gonna go with the Barracuda?
I actually know the answer to this question. So.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Pulse.
And a Pulse.
Pulse is a good one. What's left?
You got Stinger and Windrunner.
I'm gonna go with the Stinger.
All of these are Duncan yo-yos, except
Stinger.
The Stinger.
No. What about? It could be a nickname. What was the metal, like the Silver Bullet?
Yes.
That thing hurt.
That was also not made by Duncan. The
No.
Silver Bullet was made by Tom Kuhn.
That hurt my hand a lot. And what was the one the like base level one everybody had?
Everyone had like either
Butterfly.
Yeah, you had your Duncan Butterflies, your Imperials. There's if
think
you were
Butterflies,
Omega,
yeah.
if you were part of the Omega boom in the '90s, it was Brains and Fireballs.
Brain. That's what I
Brain.
had.
Yeah, the brain. 'Cause
Brains
it had a
and
Yes,
motor
I was
in it or
part of
something.
the '90s yo-yo
Raiders.
boost.
But yeah, so
You want to do a podcast about yo-yos?
Barracuda is a metal yo-yo. Pulse is a light-up looping
Yeah,
yo-yo. The Stinger, which is funny because there's actually it would be a Bumblebee GT, would be the closest to what he's talking about. It's not a real thing though. Whatever he made.
Yo-yo expert.
Then what's the Windrunner?
The Windrunners,
go
I
into
believe.
it.
The Windrunner's an off-string yo-yo, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a really big thing that's made to get thrown up in the air.
Okay.
So that's fun.
That's neat.
Wait, is an off-string yo-yo just a wheel?
No, it's literally just a big yo-yo.
Okay.
So if you were to take this and then you made it larger, it would be that.
He's a yo-yo expert.
Produced a yo-yo from his pocket.
I don't know what you were expecting.
Yeah.
I don't. My snake knows no yo-yo tricks.
This is
Zero
why
yo-yo.
I'm better
So I'll-
than your snake.
So
No,
right now, Jeff Stormer has hit 2 landmines. Will has hit 1. Ophidian has hit 1. And we're going to start with Jeff Stormer.
All right.
Ophidian, he's a professional wrestler. 3 of the following 4 films feature a professional wrestler in it:
All right.
Sherlock Holmes, Troy, Ed Wood, The Last Samurai.
Ed Wood features, I think, George the Animal Steel?
All right, that's interesting.
I'm going to go Ed Wood.
Go Ed Wood. Will.
Troy.
Troy.
I don't know the guy's name in wrestling, but in the movie, his name is Boagrius.
All right.
That should be his name in wrestling.
It's a dope name.
So we're left with Sherlock Holmes and The Last Samurai.
Like the recent, like the Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
Sherlock
Yes.
Holmes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
So then I think, gonna go with The Last Samurai because
All
I
right.
don't remember any wrestlers in Sherlock Holmes.
Ed Wood features George the Animal Steel.
He plays
That is
he plays Tor
100%
Johnson,
correct.
And then the end of the movie, you find out that he makes the famous Tor Johnson mask, and he retires safely on that. I love the movie Ed Wood. If you didn't know,
Spoilers
one
for
of my
Ed Wood.
all-time favorite films.
I did not know that.
That's
I
like
did not know
double
that.
points, really.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, then I'd have to give you tons of yo-yo points.
Yeah.
In the film, Troy features Nathan Jones, who, while contracted for the WWE, I think had 2 matches total.
He didn't do a lot of wrestling.
He showed up at WrestleMania once to help The Undertaker fight a train.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that was the year the Undertaker had. It ended up being
handicap
based,
match.
the handicap
Yeah,
match.
handicap
Big
match
Show and
because
A-Train, right.
Nathan Jones was hurt but showed
Right.
up later anyway.
Yeah, because he got like beat up by them, right?
I have
Yes.
this
Yeah,
fascination
sure.
with people, with low-level actors who get gigs based solely off of being bigger than 6'6",
Yes.
and so most of them used to be professional wrestlers.
Yes.
Like my boy Tyler Maine, also in Troy.
Also in
He
X-Men.
played Ajax. Yes, and he played
Sabretooth.
Sabretooth in
Yep.
the X-Men movie.
Yes.
I know a lot about wrestlers
Yeah.
that are actors
Yeah.
for some
So, but, like
reason.
the first X-Men movies, not like the
yeah,
No,
in
yeah,
the,
the
the
original-
first X-Men movie, he
Okay,
was Sabretooth.
not-
Yes.
Not Liev
Liev
Schreiber.
Schreiber, yeah.
I also know a lot about Sabretooth.
You don't remember when
I
Leaf
feel like
Driver
I feel like
had
Liev
that
Schreiber
match?
would be a pretty good wrestler, though. I
Yeah,
feel like
he'd
Liev
be a
Schreiber,
great
I feel like he'd
wrestler.
be pretty good. He's big.
Just him is, what's his character? Donovan McNabb?
Ray Donovan.
Donovan
Ray Donovan.
McNabb?
He was the quarterback, yes. Well, he could be in professional wrestling, too. They could do a tag team.
The
Liev
Donovans?
Schreiber
Yeah.
and Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, it's the Donovans.
So-
I'm all for this idea.
You've sold me. You've 100% sold me.
What's happening?
Book it.
Oh, we're still playing the game. Kurgan from
Yeah.
The Oddities.
He was the French tallman, right?
Yes, in Sherlock Holmes. So that is unfortunately the second landmine for Ophidian, which makes Will our winner.
Yeah.
So Will, you get Snow Job,
Oh,
a
stop saying
T-shirt,
it.
and this DVD.
What's wrong with saying snow job, Will?
I don't like
Unless
it.
Ophidian buries you alive, in which case all these possessions will then go to him.
I
Hope they
accept my
become
loss.
cool graffitied versions.
Jeff Stormer, thank you so much for coming on the
Of course,
show.
thank you.
Anything you want to plug?
A lot of things. Party of One podcast. allmyfantasypodcast.com, all my fantasy children at allmyfantasychildren.com, Talking Dog at soundcloud.com.
I turned your mic off. Yeah,
And I think that's it. It's 3 things.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, Jeff. So, Ophidian, we have to get out of here. Anything you want to plug?
Yes, January 28th at the Wrestle Factory live at, I believe, 3 p.m. I want to say is the bell time.
Yes,
3
indeed.
p.m. Is it 3 p.m. or 2 p.m.?
I believe it is 3 p.m.
It's an early afternoon show.
Come at 2, get in line.
There you go.
It'll
Do
be
that.
very
Get here
exciting.
early. Doors will be open.
Exactly,
But, yes,
exactly.
beware the Snowman as I take on 17 and show the world that I am the superior Ophidian.
And
Oh, yes.
yes, so please come on out to that. It's going to be a fantastic show. You can buy your tickets online, I believe.
Buy tickets, yes, online at chikaratix.com, and if they're not sold out at the door, they'll be available at the door.
But if you're sold out, you're out of luck. That makes a lot of
If they're not
sense.
sold out, they'll be available.
If there's some left, we'll sell them. That makes sense.
Yes.
Will, anything to add?
Yeah, Hudson Hawk, the novelization is available on Amazon. And I would like to say the first review is 3 stars, and it was an entertaining read, but I could not shake the feeling that it was based on a cartoon.
Oh, all right
So
then.
a common trend.
Which
Perfect.
pretty much parallels
Yeah,
what you were saying.
exactly
So
what you were saying.
This is good.
Be sure to give us 5 stars on iTunes, 5 stars on Stitcher. Vote for us on podcastland.com. Make us the podcast of the month. We're currently number 7, so vote for us. Also, be sure to subscribe on YouTube. Be sure to like, comment, and all that good stuff. Also, you can check us out on Twitch and now on Spotify. So be sure to check us out there. It's the same show, but you can check us out on all.
Spotify?
Yeah, it's a new thing. We just got there, so check us out on Spotify. Upcoming shows include on the 25th, we're going to have the author of Milnir, Brian James, on the show. And then on the 1st of February, we will have the author of Habiticus, the apostate life. I should have learned how to say this. Anthony,
Apostate?
yes, life of Anthony Pintros. Eddie Sinos will be on the show.
In fairness, whatever it is you just said sounded really difficult.
Yes, yeah. There's a lot of tough words. He's the king of the high flyers. Then
I think apostate's a word.
February 8th is to be announced. February 15th is to be announced. But on the 22nd, from Rock Solid Productions, Dan Sinclair is going to be on the show. So be sure to stay tuned for that one. This is the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. Thank you to Net Neutrality for still existing and possibly not getting overturned and making the show possible. This is the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. Thank you guys so much.